All right, welcome back, you guys, to another episode. On this one here, this is from one of the subscribers. His name is Mike, and he purchased one of those Vyper chairs. Let me get you guys down on here real quick. Okay, he purchased one of these chairs. He's got a couple of them. Anyways, he's wanting to do it like the way we done ours. He's wanting me to do it to match his the color of the seat. So what we're going to do is, I got this lime green to match the bracket, and it's almost dead on. I mean, it's a good match. It's the best, trust me, I had like 4 samples set, and this is the best one. And that's all that's out there. Everybody else has pretty much matching stuff to this. So I had it coming in from 2 or 3 suppliers. But anyways, we're going to do the diamonds with the black thick stitching on this, and then we're going to do I have this, let me see if you guys can see it here. I have this lime green thick stitching to go around the border of it on the black. And we're going to go ahead and remake the backrest the way we did ours, with the zip pocket and the full enclosed back. And we're going to run the 3/4 plywood instead of this. I think it's 1/2 inch on this one. And we are going to make it a little bit wider. This is just small. I mean, even he agrees, you know, it's just like right in the middle of your back, you know. If you have a little more, to just give you a little more, you know what I mean? So it does feel better. So all right, I'm going to get set up here. We'll get this one taken apart, and then we'll get our materials laid out and start making our patterns. And then we got to cut out the back for this, and we'll keep on going at it. So give me a few. Let me get set up here. I'm going to get the top camera on so you guys can watch me.
I'm a trendsetter. Okay. Let go. Hey, okay, I know I'm here to stay. Counting on my wins, so I can't play it safe. Trying to go against us, get you out of the way.
First things first. Now we're going to go ahead and put the bottom carpet like we did on our seat. It sucks how you have to do these, but this is the only thing that sucks about doing boat seats and bike seats. They're full of staples. I mean, it's how all of us put them in there. It ain't just one upholsterer.
All of you.
That's putting too many staples in. It's how sometimes you have to do it to get it to stretch right, fit right, and be on there right. So it just sucks for the next guy, or if you gotta take it back off again. I don't even know what that. Oh, backrest must be being started until flush. Yeah, they tell you that in the directions anyways when you're putting them together. Let me finish pulling these out, guys. There's a bunch of them in here, and I'll bring you back here shortly. All right. Sorry about the heater, guys. It's a little chilly today, but all right. So let's get this guy off of here. I don't know what this. It's a little piece of string or something. Why they got it on there? It ain't coming through the wood or nothing. I have no idea. I don't know what that's for. Maybe that's the guy that did it. They know who done it. Put two pieces of things on there. I have no idea. I've never seen nothing like that. So there's the cover. I'm just seeing what they use. They use a pretty decent material. It's a soft back vinyl. Yeah, they don't use bad material. It's not bad. Yeah, I think he's gonna just keep this around in case something gets torn, or I don't know, but it'll be a spare. So, okay. Here's our bottom one. We're going to use this here, and I wanted to double check this. Yes, so it is a 3/4 plywood, and man, that's got me, I don't know what that is. That is so weird.
Well, that's weird. That is weird.
Yeah, it does nothing. It's got to be like something they did to market, like who done it, you know? I have no idea. what in the world that might be. See, they got some air holes in there. I'd say that's what that is. So when you sit down, it don't blow up the cover. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Let me get the green laid out. We're gonna use this as a template for the black. I'm gonna go grab that real quick so we can cut that out and get it out of the way, and we'll punch our holes in it. Give me a second. Okay. So we're going to use this the same way. You know what? Let me do it from the bottom. He agrees. This looks a little better, and it's thicker and nicer. It just looks better, feels nicer. They're like I said, this stuff here is a little cheaper. If you're going to do like production, I get it. You're going to try to use material that's decent stuff. That ain't, you know, no good stuff, but you're going to try to do it to where, you know, you can make some money at it. So a lot of guys bitch about some of their things, like for instance, I'll show you real quick, like that. There's really nothing wrong with that plastic back like that. If I took that off, it's going to look like the chair just did. There's nothing covering it. But I mean, versus how we're going to do it with the zipper and all that's going to look nicer, there's a difference there. And we're going to use 3/4 plywood. Not that that's really a big deal. It's against a nice solid bracket, and you're not going to be freaking rocking back and forth in it. You know, you just lean back on it. So all in all, I don't see really too much wrong with that. Some guys are bitching a lot about that there, and I don't see really much to bitch about. It's what it is. You know what I mean? It's got good foam in it. It's okay. I mean, all right. But to do it like we're going to do it, that is maybe a little better. I'll agree on that. I've said this before, when you're cutting, guys, always keep going like that. Don't finish your cut like this, or it'll leave a straight cut mark. This will make it look continuous if you just keep going like this. Don't finish through with the scissors until you're done. Not unless you want it to look like a bunch of lines. Okay. There we go. We got our nice new thing. And I mean, look how much better that looks and feels and everything, you know. All right, so we got that made. I'm gonna put that in this bag for now till we need it later. I just wanted to make that and get it out of the way. All right, let me get this green laid out, some of this cleaned up. I'll be right back. All right, guys, me and Mike were contemplating on what size and how to do this backrest. Here's what I'm thinking. This is a 6x8, the one that they make. Okay, so I'm thinking go 8x10, keep it in proportion. We'll round the corners. Here's the problem. You see how this is small here? It's not really a problem, but anyways, that gives him so much more on his back, because we was thinking about going like mine, which is, and I'm thinking I like this way better. Mine's like 12 or 13 inches by, I think 4 or 5, I mean. So it's like that and that. So it's kind of like a longer thing. This gives you more area, and I wish I would have thought about that. I probably would have done mine like this, but I think I like this better. So what I'm going to do is, to give this more stability, make it like this. I'm going to make a plate, like a 1/8 inch or whatever plate on my plasma machine, and I'm going to make 4 corners. I'm going to recess it with flush mount screws. I'll put certs in here. That'll get bolted to the wood, and then we'll make this pattern here in the center with 4 more certs. So when you're against it, all the pressure is going to be on that plate. So I'm kind of trying to, and so it gives all this more stability. This thing, the backrest, all of it. It's stronger even than mine is if I do it this way. And you got a nice area. You got a way nicer area. So I really like this way here. And let me show you something real quick. So when you're making your corners, I usually put my thing up to it, make sure when I finish, it's going to hit that line and scoot it to where it's going to finish on both lines, and then make your thing. And there you have it. I wanted to wait and show you guys how I did that, because if not, you'll have the line going over here and outside of the line. So, but look at that, man. I think that looks really good. And look how much more area he'll have. I mean, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. You know, it has, what I'm thinking about here is, because when I'm sitting in my chair, and we just talked about this on the phone, and I went and sat back in the chair when he brought up how small that is in your back. Well, when I went and sat in mine, this is kind of the same thing as mine. It's just narrower, and when you're sitting in it, I do feel a little on the sides, but all I do feel in my center is this much. So imagine your back against this one. You got a much more area. It's still not too huge, and it actually fills the chair out nicer. I think that'll look better than a long piece. I mean, if you think about that, look at that. I think that'll look much nicer. I may end up changing mine to that. And then, like I said, with that plate on there, screw it dead to that. Flush mount, so you won't know nothing when the cover's on it. It'll be a one strong thing, and it'll be real strong.
What does that mean?
You can tighten that as much as you want. This is going to be solving a couple problems and better, a lot better. So I think we're going to go with that, and I think he'll like it. All right, I'm not going to waste the time on showing you guys how to cut this out with a jigsaw. I'm going to go cut it, take it across the belt sander real quick so it's clean, and I'm going to come back because I wanted to make this first before we did the cut out the material for the diamonds, because I wanted to have it for sure what we're doing on this first, so I can make my pattern for this too. So give me a sec, I'm going to cut that out. Just real quick, I decided to, I cut the board out. I'm going to go ahead and I set up some plating, 3/16 plate on the plasma machine, and I laid out my pattern where I want my holes at. So we're going to cut it. I want to pre-fit everything and pre-do everything and mount it to the bracket just to see how it looks before we go any further. So this is all set up. I took a picture of the wood. Let's do this. Okay, so there's our wood and there's our bracket. I kind of just held it where I wanted it, and then I took my measurements and straightened it up in the program after. But I just laid the wood on my my welding table over there and just kind of held the bracket on top where I wanted it at, and then brought the picture in here, made my thing. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. We'll go ahead and bevel these, and I'm going to use 5/16 inserts so they're a little bit bigger. We'll put that in the wood. We'll bevel the holes. We'll screw it together. We'll screw the bracket on there, and we'll screw the bottom chair with a couple bolts on it just to see what it all looks like. So let me get the machine set up, and I'll bring you guys back, and we'll get this cut here in just a second. Give me a few. Had to add some cutting fluid to the table. Let's go ahead and blast this out. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and then we'll do the rest. Give me a few. All right, guys, I went ahead and drilled it. It was just a series of things. My camera fell, all kind of crap happened. But anyways,
bad things happen, and there's
and I changed my mind. I got to cut these down a little bit, but you see they fit right down in there flush. So what we're going to do, that's going to be so nice with that, you know, extra support there. What we'll do, I changed my mind. I was just going to tap these, but I figured, you know what? If I put 8 certs in the board versus 4 and only tap through, you know, and then just screw to this. 1 second. Never fails with that compressor. It doesn't run until you don't want it to. Okay, so anyways, I was saying 8 certs versus 4 will be so much better. I mean, if you think about it, more bolts and nuts versus 4 is better than 2 on anything. So if you get what I'm saying. So what we'll do is we'll mark these, we'll drill them, put our certs in it, because these are going to be 5/16. These will be 1/4-20s for the bracket. I don't want to put that bracket on there. I'm going to tape the back side of it, but the holes are perfect. It'll screw right to it. That'll screw right to that. It'll be tight. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this, drill it, put our certs in it, and then we'll bolt everything together. Like I said, I want to see it all together. But that, guys. I'm going to change mine. I'm going to talk to him about this, but I'm going to change mine because, like I said, when I sit in it, it's cool that it's a little bit. And then you're talking an inch on each side of this is what mine is. So, I mean, look at that right there. So now versus this thing, you got a little more height too. It's just going to fill your center back out so much nicer. You know, that bolster area, it's just going to be so much nicer. Like if you look at the back of a chair, you know, like a roll around chair that has this type of thing in it, these are like that, you know what I mean? And it's not going to be too big because we got a decent sized cushion on the bottom. It'll all be proportional. So, and we're getting a little more area for the diamonds on the front. I know he's, you know, he wants this thing to look cool as it can be. I think with it being more area like that, we will have a cooler look out of it, you know, versus, because mine's like to here, probably where these bolt holes are, and to about right there. So it's kind of a little skinnier and then out to here. So you see what I'm saying? So he's getting kind of the best of both worlds. That's why I want to change mine to this. I think I'll like this so much better. In fact, I wish the whole chair was here so I could sit in it and feel it. But I know I'll like this better. All right, I'm gonna quit blabbing. I'm gonna mark these out, drill them, put our stuff in, bring you guys back here. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna cut these down too. All right, be back shortly. All right, guys, here's what we got. I think it's freaking awesome. So those, you'll never see those because they're flat into the thing. I just put a couple on there and a couple on the bottom just to see what the outlook of it is. But I mean, look at that compared to, let me do this, compared to, I mean, look at the difference. Seriously, I think that's freaking awesome. Look how little that is. And now he's going to have so much, you know, it's so strong back here because of that plate. You know what I mean? There's no, I mean, that's, I just got him snug. But I mean, it's going to be super nice. Yeah, see, mine's wider, my bracket's wider in the back here. I hope you guys can see that in top. Mine's, my bracket's wider. It goes the same length, and that's why I did that, for more strength. But for these chairs now that have the smaller, and you'll never know that this is in there once I cover it all. It'll look like the normal chair without the plastic back that everybody's bitching about, and he's going to have a lot of strength there. So, I mean, that is cool. Really, really is. Man, I wish I would have did that. I wish I would have thought of that before. Man, yeah, I really like that. I mean, look at that. Look how much more back, you know, your back's going to have way more, you know, that's so much nicer. It really is. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys that, show you where we're at. It's getting kind of late in the day today. Tomorrow morning, I'll come out, we'll start making we'll get the piece of foam cut for this, and we'll start making our patterns for the diamonds. I got to run and grab a zipper, and then, yep, we'll proceed. We'll get these things sewed up, get it all put together so we can get it back to him. He's been so patient. Thanks again, Mike, really. You're an awesome guy. You really are. And guys, I said it in my last video that I wasn't sure if hang on. Yeah, I said it in my last video. I wasn't too sure about mentioning his name.
You will not mention my name.
Some people don't like that crap, you know, but I don't. Like he said, I don't care. I don't care either. But yeah, his name is Mike. He's one of the subscribers on the channel. Super guy, super patient, super. What can I say? You know what I mean? Great guy all the way around. And, you know, he's in love with these chairs. He's in love with the way, you know, I done mine, and he's wanting his to look nice. I respect that. You know, he invested a lot of money in this chair, and he's wanting to make it his own. So anyhow, thank you, Mike, for everything. Morning time, we'll get cracking on those the diamonds and get those things looking real good for him. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, guys, I got the little piece of pad on there, glued to it. I got the plate all done. I took some stamps and I just punched in top right there so I know which way. That's the top. I wrote top there, just so it all goes back the same way. I got the diamonds drawn out on the green. Let's go over here to the other machine here and sew these bad boys on. And then we can make our patterns. And if you guys notice, I put my notches in the centers. so it matches when we put the seats together, because I want all that to be in line. So hang on a second. I'm going to start with our shortest, because I don't know where this, how far this bobbin is as far as running out. You can't see these like a top feed. I got the thick thread in there, so I had to set on my tensions. That's going to look good with that thick thread in there. And once again, I got my, I took a piece of, a spare piece of material with foam on it, just like I'm doing. You want to use the same exact thing you're using. And I set my pressure. As you can see, it's already starting to set its, you know, it's I don't even know what you would call that. I like using chalk to do this, but the problem with that is it wipes off so quick. A China marker's good to use too, but then you gotta use mineral spirits to wipe it off. And if you're using a light thread, you can make it look crappy quick. Then you gotta let it dry out and hope it was just wet and not got dirt in it. So I use chalk and try to stay away from my lines as much as I can. Yeah, it's very hard to use this thick string. You have to set your machine up different. Your tensions and stuff all change. And even then, I can still hear my machine. It grabs the lower bobbin case. There's a way you can do it. You can adjust your bobbin case away from the base where the arm swings back and grabs the thread. But I don't want to throw this thing out of time. It works so good with all the other threads, and I don't use this all the time. If I was to be using this all the time, like on certain furniture or certain things, then I would set it for that, but I don't. It's very rare, actually. It does look good, but you don't, I mean, if people request it or something like that, or if it's already in something you're repairing and you have to match it, then it's a different story. But if you're wondering why I'm not backstitching, I'm going to sew around this border anyways, and you really can't with this thick thread. Now you're asking for trouble if you're trying to go backwards too. It's because it's already having a hard time. And that's with the bigger needle. That's with everything, all my tension set up real loose. You name it, I've done it. Look at that, man. That looks so good. Very good. Let's grab the other one. Well, I'm gonna finish that. It's the same thing. Then I'll bring you back over there when we're making our patterns. Okay, you guys, here's where the marking all your centers matters, top and bottom and all that, all right? So what I've done, I've set that on there, and I've got my 2 notches in this, and I've tried to line up, you know, center, and then I'm trying to see when I draw it, if everything's proportional as best as you can, you know, just so it's not real bad. And then I took a 1/2 inch line on the outside. That's what we're going to sew around it to lock it all in. And then when we sew it, we'll be sewing on that. That's our outer edge of the seat, so we'll be sewing around that. Just right to the outer edge of that a little bit. Same with that one. I'm not going to lift it until I sew it. So I'm going to take this back, sew around this, trim it, and wipe it down, and then our patterns are made. So give me a few. I'm going to sew these around these real quick. I like talking too much, so
You talk too much.
I'm gonna let you guys watch me sew this. If you haven't seen my other videos, what we'll do once we sew this, we'll go around and cut it kind of close to the thread. I actually should have done this over there on the FAF because I got black loaded in that where I'm not wasting this thick thread, but that's okay. You don't have to do this with the thick thread. I just sat down on here and did it. In fact, I'm gonna do the other one over there. This is just to hold our stitches together, that's all. There's nothing, you'll never see this line anyways, so I'm actually wasting it. And what I mean by this is exactly what I mean. We're gonna cut this out. I'm gonna cut it with these other scissors, but I just want to show you. Just not right on it, but as you can see, those other threads, it sews over it so it locks it. Now it can't come apart. None of these in here. All right, I'm gonna go do that one, trim them, and I'll bring you back. All All right, here it is. I mean, it's looking pretty good, actually. So, like I said, center, 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 center. And now when that's all together, you know, it's all going to look proportional. You know what I mean? The diamonds are going to follow through just the way they all are. That's going to look so good. It really is. I mean, that's going to look sweet. I really like this thick thread. It's just, man, it's hard on the machine and it's hard to do it. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I mean, you don't do it all the time, like I said. So, but anyhow, it's late in the day today. I was going to maybe try to cut out. I may cut out some of the black outer patterns. We may do that. Let me get it unrolled and set up and measured, and we'll at least cut out we'll at least cut some out. Give me a few. Okay, the round one's calling for with the 1/2 inch sew on top and the flip around on the bottom. It ends up being 5. The backrest is 3 7/8. I marked them out. I figure we'll at least get these cut. I like using this wheel because you get nice straight cuts, you know what I mean? And with the scissors, you can do fairly well, and it's sometimes, I mean, it's not like super critical, but when you're sewing that and you got a nice straight line, it really makes a difference. So at least it does with me. I mean, you'll have 10 different upholstery guys tell you 10 different things, but the guys that have been doing it for like 50 and 60 years, they're so burned out, they'll just tell you, just get the scissors and rip through it. You guys are wasting your time. But I'm just telling you from what I know, it will definitely makes a difference when there's a straight line. All right, I don't even know what time it is. Let me see what time it is. We may try to sew one on. I don't know. This is why I don't like keep going, because then I just keep going. My wife's getting off early today. We have some things to do, but maybe until she gets here. So let me see what's going on here, and I'll be back with you guys. All right, guys, we're over on the FAF. I started sewing this on. I don't have my camera that goes on my desk over there where you guys can get a shot of the closer sewing I'm doing. I got to get batteries for it. I think that's what's going on with them stupid things where they keep dying. But anyways, what we're doing here is I'm sewing this on, and then we'll do an outer border sew with the lime green thread on the other machine. But I want to show you how I do this edge over here. I'll explain it here in a minute. That's probably enough. Okay. So what we want to do, or what I've done already. So when I started, remember, I marked, here's our mark. That's the back of this. So if you're looking at the chair, over here's the backrest. This is the back. We're going to put our seam in the back, okay? So here's the 1/2 inch where I sew my sew. I put that mark on the right in the middle of that mark there. So that's where our line's going to be at. So now I'm going to sew these two together, and when we top sew it, when I finish sewing this out, it's going to be on that center. I already took it around the seat, this part, and measured on our line and gave myself a 1/2 inch each way on that line. So when I sew this, that line should be on that where I said. And you see I started in past the line and stopped way before the line so we can sew this. And then we'll sew it out after we finish it. Well, if I can get this to... I want my part that goes with where the seat's at real even. That's what I mainly care about. Okay, 1/2 inch in roughly. Lock it. Okay, now we're going to do our top sew. I'm going to open my stitch up. I usually close my stitch tighter when you're sewing seams together. It's stronger, and then on your top sews you can open it for the look. All right, so now I don't want to do this top sew in the green because it's going to look stupid. You don't want to do that. I've been there and done that.
Been there, done that.
Where I've actually done too much. You don't want to do that. So just keep it simple and clean when you're doing it. Well, you know you're not going to go wrong. So your outer border, for sure, whether you're French seaming it or just top sewing it. All right, sorry about that, the phone rang. Okay, so I did our top sew. Now, what I'm gonna do is, I wanna make sure this is gonna fall right where I want it to fall. So there's my center. That's the center. I'm kind of gonna walk it over, stretch it out. Yep, we'll be good. Okay, let me start my thread again, or my sewing again. Start it back from where you was. Let me tighten my thread up again. I only go up a couple of numbers. I don't worry about too much. As long as it's tighter than it was, you know it's going to be okay. You just don't want it too open, you know what I mean? So if you find yourself looking like it's not going to fall in that center, give it a little tug. And if it's not perfect, it ain't the end of the world, as long as it's close. You just don't want it to be like way over to the right or left. That's what I kept saying on the other stuff too. Now I'm going to double sew across this back, or back stitch across that where we top sewed it. It's just a habit. I've always done it. I don't know why. When I started sewing, I taught myself that, and that's what I just keep doing. Whether it's a good or bad thing, I do it. I just think it's stronger on those areas, you know? Maybe that's just in my head. I have no idea.
What? I never know what you're talking about.
I think we ran out. Okay. Let me change this out, guys. All right, guys, I went ahead and just finished it off after I changed my thread. No biggie. I just started back on the where we stopped, back stitched it, and went back over it again. That's all I do, because it locks the other thread in. Okay, now we'll start back here. I just want to see how it fits, that's all. We'll take it over and do the green here one more. Like a glove. And that looks so good, you guys.
Ooh, man, that looks good.
Mike, I'm happy for you, buddy. And if you look down here, this is the back of our seat where the backrest goes. And there's our line and there's our seam. The front, you don't need it, you just know that's going to end there, because our diamond, well, here's the line here, and there's our center, right where my finger's at. So, okay. I forgot, we got to do, hang on a second. Yeah, I forgot, I was gonna sew the back one first, and I started thinking, I was like, oh, I can't do that yet. I got to make plates for the zipper. So, yeah. I forgot to go at lunch today and grab one, so I'll go tonight while we're out. I'll get that. I think I'll finish that first, then we'll do our top sewing with our green around the edge. There's really no, I mean, oh, what the hell, let's do the green on this one. All right, guys, after extensive 100 times testing, and I had to change my needle out. I was just trying everything, because at first I was having all kind of issues, but I've got it to where what you want is, you don't want the top thread to pull the bottom thread, and you don't want the bottom thread to pull the top thread. See how you see green through there? So with this thick thread, it's a fine line of adjustment between too tight and too not tight. It's like right there, one little click one way or the other, and it's back to the other way. So this is how many times I had to play with it. You know what I mean? So what I am going to do is, hang on, I'm going to change this bobbin out, because I've been doing all that. I don't want to run out in the middle of all this, so give me a minute. Yeah, and so it probably would have made it, but I'm not going to chance it. I'll just use it in something else. I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, let's get this thing started. So I'm not going to backstitch. What we're going to do is, I'm going to start it, and we are going to pull it back through the back and tie it in a knot when we're done, because it's too much. I'm not going to chance it. Lock stitching it. Like I said, it acts funny when you lock stitch it. So no chances here. Just go with the flow. And we only got to do this on this one and the other one. So just be good to us. Once again, I'm not pulling too tight, but I am just making it to where it's flat. I don't want to bubble. It'll look like we put piping on it. All we want is a nice top set. Just take your time. If you got to go somewhere in a hurry, do this tomorrow. Don't do it today. And I know I just told you guys that my wife's coming home early and we got to go do some things, but she told me we ain't got to leave that. We don't have to leave right away, so I'm not in a hurry. So far, so good. Yeah, you don't realize how difficult it is to sew with this thick thread until you do it. It makes your arm sore. And I'll tell you, with this stuff here, it does not like lumps. It does not like anything other than a flat path. So I'm trying to keep everything smooth and laid out for it. You put a little lump in it or anything, it's crying to you. Nope, I don't like it. Almost home. Man, my arm's tired. Let me pull this one down so I know where we're at. Tighten it back up. This is tricky right here. Okay. Now we can tighten it up on the bottom. Okay, now that's that one. Which one do I want? Okay, so we want to pull this one this way. Yep, like that. I got all these tangled up. Okay, I think this one is, yep, that's the one that tightens that one. That's tight, that's tight. Alright, okay, now we're going to take, I always just do them all. So we're going to take, well, let me shorten these up a little bit. Okay, we're going to take this green and black and tie it with this green and black. Couple knots. This is actually, in my opinion, better than a lock stitch because you're tying it in a couple knots, and that is strong, let me tell you. Okay, all right, let me take you back over here. We'll see what she looks like. Man, looking pretty good. Now, any kind of greens or lime greens or whites or anything like that, you're not whites, but like that, it's going to be hard to get them perfectly matched, but it's not dead on, but it's lime green and lime green, you know what I mean? So, and it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. I'm trying to fold that under so we can get a look at it. It's hard to do that when you're, yeah, we ain't gonna get that. All right. Well, there's one. We don't got it stapled or nothing yet, but let's see what it looks like through the camera. Yeah, it's looking pretty sweet. All right, cool. We got that done. You guys forced me into that, but I had to do what I had to do with that anyway, so at least that's out of the way for tomorrow when I finish that one there, and we'll do that. We'll get this thing stapled all together. I got to paint that bracket before we put it on. We'll put some paint on it. I'll probably do that first thing in the morning while I'm sewing that up so it can dry. And then we'll get this thing boxed back up and sent to him. I got to do his caster still. I got to powder coat him, but at least he can have this back. We'll send this back to him. So that's that, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We got quite a bit done today. All right, guys, it's the next day, and here's where we're at with this. There's a little dilemma here. So when you're doing these vibrant colors and stuff like that, it's real hard to match the colors with the threading. Yesterday we done this, and I looked at it, and I felt right away in my heart that it was a little too light for my liking, and I know the way this gentleman here is, how he is with it also. We're kind of like the same in a sense on how this would affect you looking at it every day.
No bueno.
So to make a long story short, let me just tell you real quick, the only other way you would do this is because every supplier is going to have this pretty much the same thing. To be able to get this close or even match almost to where you think your eye looks like it's dead on, you would have to take a bunch of that thread and probably dye it to get your color perfect. It sucks they don't make a perfect thread match for every color that there is, you know, on this type of stuff here. And even, let me show you real quick. So here's Vyper's logo, and embroidery thread is very thin. So that one line is a million stitches to make it look that thick. But I held it up to my thread and looked at it real close, and it's almost, the match is almost right on. But to look at that, you know, if that was just on the back of the seat like that, you would think that that matches it perfect, but it really, really doesn't. This being so thick, contrasting against the black, you can really see it, that's not what's going on here. You know, that's not really what's going on there with that green in the middle of it. If that green wasn't there and all we did was that little stitch with that on the back of the seat like that, you would think that that was dead on with what that looks like. But this don't even match the framing of the seat. This was the whole thing that he was, you know, wanting to change things around because of that. And we looked and looked and looked to try to find this vinyl to where we could get that to match that framing. And trust me, after 2 or 3 weeks of getting samples, that was the best we could do, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good match. So what we're going to do is to fix this. So I'm happy, and for the most, you know, he's happy. I'm going to redo this, and we're going to make it in black. I would never. No, most of you guys might be looking at this going, "What's wrong with that? Is this guy dumb? It looks good." But it really, cameras and pictures are two different things, and in life is two different things. But even in real life, if you guys was here looking at this, you'd probably say, that's really okay, because when you get down on it, you know that the thread's lime green, and you know that it's really not super, super bad. It's just, but they don't perfectly match, but you know that that's lime green and that's lime green. That's just a little lighter. But that could bother somebody to the end of this chair's existence, you know, in the person that owns it, you know, that's real picky like that. So to me, that would bother me, and to him it would too. So knowing all that, we're gonna and here's the other thing: I can't just cut this or pull all this thread out and try to hit every hole with the black now. I would have to sit there and go one teeny thing at a time and try to line them up and do it and try to hit them all. That's just, to me, you could maybe do it. I don't want to waste the time doing that. I'm just going to take this all the way off, recut a new piece, sew the new piece on there, and redo it with the black top thread. So that's what I'm going to do real quick, and I'll bring you back after that's finished, and we're working on the zipper on the back one. I did get the zipper. I got the zipper, so I'm going to fix this real quick. Not real quick. It's probably going to take me an hour, but I'm going to fix it real quick. I keep saying real quick. I'm going to fix that, and then I'll bring you guys back. I just wanted to show you guys, you know, like I said before on this channel, whether it's a mistake or something's going on, I want you guys to see, because if you guys go do this, if something, you know, you guys may want to send a seat out or something one day, I want you to know what's available and what's going on out here, because you'll get it back from somewhere, because this guy's in another state. He can't come over here and look at this. So we're doing it with pictures, and so I have to be at my honest opinion, even though I don't want to redo this, trust me, because it's just more work. I want to redo it to make him happy, you know. I want him to be happy too, you know, and I know that would bother him. So, but one of you guys may send this out, and a company may not give a crap about that and do this and send it to you, and you'll be like, yeah, it looks cool, but I wish that was a little, you know, better. But oh no, I'll be all right with it. You're not totally happy with it, you know. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take that back off, and we're going to fix this. So give me a little bit, and I'll bring you back. All right, guys, so here is the finished seat after the black was redone. Okay, so much nicer, you guys. I mean, look how clean and nice that looks. It just, I mean, if you can't get it to match, don't waste your time. Don't try to do something that's not going to be. You know what I mean? That looks so much nicer. Okay, so now here's this. This one's ready. We made the zipper. I made the marks. Arrows up for top. Back says top. So I went ahead and did our notches with the clicker, with the cutter. I got these lined up in the middle, my centers, and then I just set this on top, gave the overlap, and then put all my marks in this. These I'm not going to notch out. I'm just going to leave the chalk line in it. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this onto this and make the back one last. But we got our zipper in it and everything. So I'm going to sew that in real quick, top sew it. I'll be right back. All right, guys, the steamer's ready. Let's get this bad boy on here. So just kind of a little recap here. So we had to change the lime green stitching. Not a good match. I mean, it was just too light. Like I said, to some people, it might have not have made no difference. You know, they probably would have said, that's... In fact, some might say that when they watch this video, like, he's crazy, there was nothing wrong with that. But, well, that's true, and you know, that's just everybody's opinion. You can't go against other people's opinions, you know what I mean? But I know what I would have wanted, and from what I've learned from this guy here, Mike, he's in the same boat. He would have probably been all right with it, but it would have just bothered him to the end, you know. And that's the kind of stuff I definitely don't like, and I know he don't like. So, all right, let's flip this top on first, like a little hot pocket. Okay, there's a. This is going to be a little tough. And then I'm going to tell you what I'm doing inside when I'm doing it. So I'm folding these, well, that side I don't need it because we got it sewed, but on this side, you see this little, that part, I want this whole part over the edges, in the back, everywhere. So I'm going to go around and make sure that that's down. And I'll tell you why here in a minute, because if not, we'll have a big lump there, and it'll look like shit. Now we'll take these and wrap them around these corners. Just a little more extra work and it pays off. You know what I mean? It's one of them things again. Just do it. Don't ask yourself any questions. Because I promise you in the end, look how tight and nice that looks. Our holes match up. All he's got to do is bolt his thing on it. He's done. So now we're going to steam this a little bit. Just to get it fitting a little nicer. And now you see why I added that extra padding around the edges on the back, because it just really fills it out, you know, because the measurements are made without that. So when you add that, it's going to be tight for sure. There is no, well, maybe it's going to be a little loose. It's going to be tight, and that's how you want it. You want it looking nice. You want it looking like it all fits. Like some of the chairs that I've done, you've seen that the foam or something's bad and or wore out, and we're trying to fill in edges and compensate for stuff like that. Really, them kind of things need totally redone. You know, they need new foam, they need, and then you make your cover to that. You know, don't use the templates that come with it, because those are going to be fitting the areas of what's there. But when you know, when you're doing it for a certain amount or a certain thing or a favor or that kind of stuff there, you ain't gonna do, because you can't afford that, you know. Nobody can. Man, Mike, this is looking so nice, buddy. I can't wait till you get this. And this is so strong. I mean, when you bolt your thing on there, wait till you get this and feel it. And I want to show you guys something on the other one too that I did that I wish I'd have done on mine. You think about this stuff afterwards, guys. I mean, it's just you got so much on your mind. You want to get a video out. This YouTube stuff ain't easy. I mean, for those of you that are doing it, you know what I'm talking about. You're worried about this and that and editing and making this and getting this. It's just a lot of stuff. It's just, when I first started doing this, I never imagined. I always thought, well, this is going to be fun, you know, and it is. But I'm just saying, you're thinking like, you know, if this all works out good and I can do this as a job, I'm going to be home, I'm going to be working on my shop, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of work in it and a lot of hours in it. And I know some of you are probably getting tired of hearing me talk about it, but I'm sorry. There's a lot of things that still bothers me about it, with some people that just get off so easy on it. And it just ain't right. I mean, there should be stipulations that YouTube makes where that can't happen. You know, you have to work at it. You have to, you know, in order, if you want this to go for yourself, this is how you have to do it. Like these other people that are, I don't want to get started on that stuff, so let's focus on this. And all you gotta do is just massage it in a little bit. See, and that's padded now. Even though that's a plate there, it's nice and padded. And when that bracket goes against that, and that's all together, that's gonna look so much nicer than that plastic piece on there. You know, not, like I said, I mean, I'm not knocking that Vyper. If you guys see this, you guys built a good chair. It's obvious. It really is. I'm not knocking it at all. We're just doing stuff of our own. That's all. It's not like, you know, mine's better than yours. Ha 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 ha. It's nothing like that. I would never do that anyways. If somebody else wants to judge that opinion on their own, that's on them. But I would never throw something like that in nobody's face. Everybody's got time of some sort in what they're doing. And I'll never knock a working man, because I really know how it is. Wowee, Mike. That's all I can say to you. You're going to love this, buddy. You're going to love these seats. And I'm telling you right now, I got the file saved for this plate, so I can make, I'm going to make me one just like it for mine. I'm going to make the wood template. I'm going to make the plate. I don't need the plate because mine's got the, you know, the wider bracket, but I've got it all saved to where I'm going to make it the measurements for mine, just because of the area, the covering. Wish I could put this against my back and show you guys how that's going to be. But there's no way of me holding that up and doing that. I'm trying to watch my camera. I don't want to burn it with the steamer. I'm probably clear out of the camera over there, ain't I? I done worked myself off the bench. Mike, you wanted that pop. You got it, buddy. These things are popping right out. Man, you know, when you do, like I've said it before, when you do something and you look at it and it just all works, it makes you happy and proud, you know? It really does. It's rewarding. I mean, we made that out of nothing, guys. Completely nothing. This was not, we didn't use anything to make that. So we made that whole thing. That's a whole new piece. All of it. You know what I mean? So, and it all turned, it looks like he ordered that from somewhere and bought that thing. Really. Ready to bolt on, put it on your chair. You know what I mean? Okay, let me show you what's going on here. I started stapling this. I popped them out. Reason being, I don't want a bunch of this stuff way out here on the edge where this is going. When that goes down, I want that to be a nice, clean piece of vinyl all the way around there with no wrinkles in it. Even though you're not going to see this underneath, ever, that's how I want it. So what I'm going to do now is clean these off a little bit more, flatten them out some, cut them down with the razor blade where there's a little bit on there, okay? Throw some staples in all the way in here where the edge is, where you're not going to see them. And then we're going to put this on here. I'm going to probably tape it off where the edge is all the way around. Take this back off, glue that side, glue inside that tape, and glue it. I don't want no staples on this. That way it all looks clean. No staples, just like we did mine. And that's exactly how I'm going to do that. So give me a few, I'll bring you back. I'm going to clean these up a little bit, and I'll show you what we've done before. I'll show you when the glue's dry and we're getting ready to put this on. So give me a little bit. All right, guys, my upper camera ran out again, the batteries. I just put that thing in there, but anyways, here's what I've done. I put those on there so I can put my tape line on. I took the blade and I just shaved those off like this. I just shaved them off so it's flat. So now when we glue this on here, it's going to be flat. You know what I mean? So let's get it prepped, and then I'm not worried about getting glue on any part that's somewhere that I didn't get taped, because we'll clean it with our cleaner. But I did want to know where my lines are. So let's go ahead and get this bad guy. I want to get it right on my edge. We want our edge to stick good. That's important. So don't be shy with the glue on the edge. I'm not shy with the glue anywhere, but I want my stuff to stay together. And somebody that probably redoes my seats are like, gee, man, this guy with his glue. But I bet you in 20 years, it's going to be on there. Just like those seats were out of that airplane. They glued the crap out of that. I even made a joke about it. They went gun-ho. But you seen how it was on there. And like I said, this is underneath, guys. It's not going to ever have any reason, you know, there's stuff bolted to it, but so there shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't. You see, when people say shouldn't, that means do something extra so you don't have to worry about that, like we just did. What did I waste? A quarter more of glue than anybody else would have? If that? 10 cents, 20? I don't know. I don't even look at it as wasting it. We're doing a job. I'm trying to hurry because my steamer, I want to hit this seat while it's still on. We should be all right. Because after this, we are done. We'll get these things boxed up and mailed to him. I still got to do his caster things, but we're waiting. They mailed, the company that makes them mailed them out some that are already powder coated. We're going to wait and see what they look like. If they look good, then we're not going to do these. But if they look like they're, you know, out of a gumball machine, 25 cents, and it pops out on you, then he's going to have, you know, he wants to do them nice. And I get it. You know, he's like I said, it's just like anything. You buy a nice 69 Camaro, you're going to take care of it. You're going to do your own thing to it. You know, this guy likes these chairs, and he wants it to make it his own. And he has every right to do that, just like all of us do. So whatever he wants and decides is his deal. All right, line the holes up. Keep going that way with it. This tape, it's something else, let me tell you. It's cheap tape, and I bought it, and it's cheap. And when you want it to stick right on the car, or something you're trying to really get it to stick right on, it will not stick. But other times, when you're just rushing with it, and you're not even prepping and cleaning and doing any of that stuff, it's like, dude. Okay. Now we're going to let this set just a minute on the bottom, and I'm going to clean that with the mineral spirits. And that's it. Look at that, guys. Look how good that looks. Just because we did that with the flattening out of everything. I mean, it's clean. Everything's clean and nice. Let's steam this a little bit. While this thing's on, and we drain some of that water out. Ooh, it's still coming out. That's what happens when it's getting lower. When it's getting to the, you got to add some. Man, it makes my nose run something fierce. I'm happy, Mike. I really am, buddy. I'm glad the decision was made on that outer thread. That would have bothered me to the end of time. Even if you said, yeah, I'm cool with it. Just to say it because you didn't want to see me redo that. Because I had to remake that whole panel, guys. The whole black. Because I didn't want to try to hit, well, I told you guys. I didn't want to try to go back over and hit my holes with the black. All I had to do was miss 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 and him to really examine it and say, damn, man, I can't believe he done that, you know. And I'm sure, you know, he would have knew that wasn't intentional, but that's something you just don't do, guys. Just do it right. It took me, I think, I don't know, I texted him and told him. Maybe 40 minutes later I texted him back with the new one. 30, 40 minutes, I don't know what it was. And now we don't have to worry about that. It's all done. It's done right. I'm happy. I know he'll be happy. He already seen it. I sent him a picture. He didn't see this. Not yet. Or the pocket, or the other one. He's gonna. And, you know, doing steaming and stuff. Most shops, I tell you what, they probably wouldn't waste their time with it because it's gonna settle on its own anyways, guys. Whatever we see, if there's a little thing here and there, in time, that's gonna be gone. But when you open it up and it's already gone, when you get it, just makes you feel better. I gotta get a little bit of glue off of it. I got it. I still gotta do the bottom anyways, but yeah, this whole thing, after you sit in it a few times, everything will shift around and fit, you know, better. It's just how chairs are, you know. It's just what it does. The material starts to lay and learn itself to the areas of the foam, you know, whatever. And then before you know it, it's next Saturday it looks like a different stool because it's all fitting super nice. That's the steam just helps that a little bit. Like I said, some of the areas you're not going to get with the steam regardless because that might have sat long enough. It just, you know, you're only going to get so much of it. If you guys could see this edge where the glue was, and now that I'm taking it off, how good it looks. It just looks like super nice and clean, you know. And I don't have a lot to clean because I taped it. If I would have just sprayed that like, hey, I've been doing this 40 years and I don't need no glue, I'm cool. I mean, I don't need no tape. Watch this. Mine just goes on everywhere and I'll clean it later. Why waste my tape? People trip me out, guys. I don't know. I really don't know if it's an ego thing or just, you know, I don't never say that I'm better than anybody. Never. I'm always wanting to learn something new. But there's people out there that just, if you watch their videos, it's kind of like subliminal of, did they watch one of my videos and not say nothing? And now they're addressing it in theirs? Yes. Because, I don't know. It's like pointing a finger. Don't do it. Mommy and Daddy taught you guys better. Chill out, man. We're all in this together. If there's something we can learn off each other, let's do it. Let's not make fun of each other or crack on how we do things. Or that's the wrong way. Or whatever. God, I can't believe I'm keep getting myself into that. I keep falling into that rabbit hole. I tell myself every time when I do this video, I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff. And here I am again. All right, shut your mouth, Steve. Quit worrying about everything. All right, guys, this here, Mike, I'm going to address you, buddy, because it's your baby. She's going to be getting packed up, and you're coming home, bub. It's coming home. Bam. Hang on a second. We're going to get a... That's the back there. There's our other one. I want to prop it up. Get a decent little picture here. I'm silly. Silly. All right, let me cut this off. We're going to go around this, guys. Hold on. Mike, it's coming. Oh, man. It is so nice, Mike. It is. I'm happy, man. I'm very happy we did that edge like we did it. Look at that, man. Look at that, you guys. Look at the... Mike, there's your diamond pop, buddy. It's hard to see on certain angles, but let me try to catch you one. Look at that backrest right now. It caught it. Bam, baby. Look at it. All right, let me stop. You guys probably think these guys are... something's wrong with them. All right, you guys. Beauty in itself. So basically what we've done is just made this guy his own. Nothing knocking nothing. I mean, this gentleman owns 1 or 2 of these things. I think 3 of these chairs. They're not cheap. So for him to even invest more money to, you know, to do something like this, to signaturize it his own, he likes them a lot, okay? So that's all we done here, Vyper. If you guys see this, nobody's knocking any of your stuff. In fact, we used your foam and lower piece of wood there because I told him that your guys' foam was better than what I used. I didn't want to order. Well, you guys know, you guys sell the same stuff, and from what he told me, it's $100 for that pad, and it would have cost me that to get it shipped. You know, by the time we bought it and had it shipped, so it's not cheap. They use good. If you guys, just as I am going to tell you this right now, and this is not paid from Vyper or nothing, but they use a good foam down here. It's a nice dense foam, and it ain't cheap stuff. So the money is somewhere in that chair, and there's one of them. There's one of them. They are quality in a bunch of their ways they're built. So don't knock them because that little plastic piece on the back of that headrest thing. You guys chill out. But there you go, Mike. Thank you for being so patient, buddy. Hang on. All right, you guys. Thank you so much again for what you guys keep doing for this channel. It means so much to me, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to keep telling you guys at the end of every video. Beginning, end, middle, I don't care. Mike, you're a great guy, buddy. I'm happy to have you as one of my subscribers and as a friend now. Thank you so much for your patience, for trusting yourself and shipping these all the way to me. I know what this chair means to you. You know, thank you so much in all the ways. Thank you for your donation to the channel. Mike, that was the guy, guys, I said in the last video. I don't know if you want me to say his name. This is the gentleman right here. One of the gentlemen. He gave me a little donation, a little tip. It's in my tip thing there. Thank you so much, Mike. So the next video, guys, I'm not sure if we're doing... I have a couple more motorcycle seats coming in. We got the airplane panels, and I have a bunch done on the planishing hammer. There's a ton of stuff I've already recorded on that. I don't know how I'm going to do all this yet, but this one's going to go out first. But we'll keep them coming as much as I can and as fast as I can. Thanks again, guys, and until the next one, I'll see you then.